It's all about the baby boomer lifestyle. Boomer Life on AM 650.
AM 650.
Whenever I see your smiling face, I have to smile myself because I love you. Yes, I do.
You know what? People walk out of the office. They've seen Dr. Bobby Birdie. They've seen Dr. Ron Zokol. They're smiling. They're happy. Their mouth looks great. And I would imagine that you gentlemen are smiling too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Love
It's
the
fun
work we
doing
do.
Yeah, it's fun doing what we do. I really enjoy it.
You like to see people happy?
It's great. You know, I was in a meeting just on Friday, and on Thursday, and they were saying, you know, they're why do you like doing this stuff in one day? It's because you get to change someone's life in one day. It's a lot of fun.
Wow. Bobby, let me ask you about consultations. Tell us about the consultation process.
Consultation is really, you can call up or check us out online. You book a consultation. Every implant consultation that's booked by a radio listener or someone else is complimentary, which means that you come in and we'll sit down, we'll do a thorough examination and provide you kind of all the options that we think you can do. And you know, that's for, I would say, 99% of the people out there. There will always be a few people that come in and things are so complex that we have to book them in for a second appointment. But most times, that's really it. You come in, you get a consultation, you learn all your options, and you go from there.
What are the options?
Well, there's lots of options when it comes from a single tooth to a full, you know, mouth of teeth, or an upper set of teeth or a lower set of teeth, from implant dentures to implant bridges to single tooth implants. Really, the sky's the limit. There's so much that we can provide, and in so many different ways that really there's a numerous number of options for each case.
So if somebody comes into your office, they need to have maybe one or two teeth taken out, and then we're going to replace those with implants?
Yep.
Can you do that in one day too?
A lot of times we can.
Good Lord. You're amazing. You're amazing. Well, that's the consultation process. Now, let me ask you, Dr. Zokol, is there any obligation?
Absolutely not. And if you understand our philosophy, one is to develop a working relationship with our new patient, and for us to understand what their complications, their diseases, their priorities and preferences are. We interview them in a sense, but they also interview us. And from there, we might determine what might be their best course of action to fulfill their goals. And then they can decide whether our offices are the place they want to be treated or not. But there is no obligation to continue.
You said people interview you. What sort of questions, again, do they ask you?
Well, they'll ask us about our care, our type of treatment that we have, what's the pain level, how many surgeries do we need, and they conduct their interview by taking a look at how you respond to these questions. And sometimes our body language tells a different story than our words do, and people respond at different levels.
I think also they want to know about anyone else that's gone through the treatment. So if they know somebody else that, you know, do you know someone that's gone through this? Can I talk to them? Do you have a video of what they said? And I think those options in those situations really, really are most impactful, I think, because, you know, you really believe someone else when they've gone through it and say, yeah, it wasn't so bad, or look at my teeth, it's amazing. I think that's something that really, really is beneficial.
And implant teeth look natural? They look normal?
They can look really beautiful. They can look no different than a natural tooth when they're done properly and really well. It depends on the disease state. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but when things are optimal, then they can look pretty natural.
Because, you know, you watch TV and you see these Hollywood stars on there, and they've got a nice set of dentures, but they don't look real.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's a
Absolutely.
Hollywood smile.
It's a Hollywood smile.
Yeah, yeah.
But when people come to see you, they can rest assured that they're going to go out of there smiling and looking natural.
And they have the opportunity to either have that Hollywood smile or to have what we call age-appropriate smile.
Oh, really?
So there's lots of different opportunities to manage how you look after you're finished.
So you can match up tooth color?
Yeah, match up tooth color, tooth shape, tooth size, and also really the patient is really in charge of what they want to look like.
What would you do if someone came in and said, you know, I'd like to go through this, but I think I'm just going to stick with dentures?
It's always their option.
Is it?
Yeah, it's always an option. People have been wearing dentures for years. I've made tremendous numbers of dentures. We make dentures for people every day. It's not that. It's just that it's an entry-level treatment, and there are so many things that we can do that are beyond that will help them keep their bone and help them be able to chew and eat and smile better every day. But those are always options. Yeah. Absolutely.
And during a consultation, somebody will ask, well, do I really need that procedure? My immediate answer is absolutely not. You don't even need your teeth. I can show you many people who have had dentures for all their life, and they've been managing through, and they've had a wholesome, good life without teeth at all. But if you want teeth, I can help you.
And is there a reason why we should have teeth?
Well,
There's lots of good reasons
there's
why
a
you want
massive
teeth.
number of reasons. Aesthetics, how well you look. Make sure they don't drop out of your mouth when you talk to other people. But let's get down to function. How about predigestion of your food?
Yes.
So for nutrient value, so you can eat the right type of foods better and more of essential vitamins that you get through eating, let's say, vegetables, very fibrous vegetables that are hard to do with dentures. I don't think there are many people who knows more about that than Dr. Bobby here.
Well, I think also when it comes to chewing with dentures and having pieces of plastic in your mouth and having something cover the roof of your mouth, the taste of food, the texture of food, it's just not as beneficial. It's not as comfortable. You know, you don't taste things as like you did when you had teeth. So there are lots of benefits to not wearing dentures and to going into something with implants or a combination of that. And I would venture to say that's why teeth are needed. And you have to understand that you're born with teeth. So, you know, we're supposed to have teeth. We're supposed to have teeth in our mouth. Why? Because it helps us chew and eat, helps to keep our bone around, and it helps to make sure that we can smile and enunciate and talk and speak and do all the things that we're supposed to do.
I don't want to put you guys out of business or anything, but is there something that, let's say somebody has a young child in their family, that mom and dad can tell this young child, hey, do this, and then you don't have to go see Dr. Zokol unless you just want to stop in and say hello?
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
First of all, getting a checkup on a regular basis to identify little problems before they become big problems, for sure. Learn to clean your teeth really well. And if you do those things, you'll be staying out of the dental office for work for the majority of your life.
And I'm proof of it. I don't have a single filling. I've never had any dental work done in my entire mouth.
I'm going to change that.
Could you? Would you? I was going to say
Right?
thank you.
So, and the reason being is, like I said, we brushed, we flossed, we grew up with fluoridated water, and we went to the dentist every year, and I went about it. So, and it is possible. It absolutely is possible. And I would venture to say that a lot of my staff and people that are in the dental field are these people that have brushed and flossed their entire life, have gone for routine checkups, and gone through everything really well. And in the end, they may need one implant, they may need one thing along the way, but nothing major reconstructively at all.
Let me see if I can trick you here.
Sure.
You said implants in one day. Is that true?
Yes.
Because I've asked you now 3 or 4 times. I just wanted to make sure you didn't change your answer on me.
Sure.
It's true.
Is there, we've talked about age as well, too, but is there a certain age where people may be just a little too old? Maybe they're hitting their 70s now?
Oh, gosh.
I think last week I saw a person who's 94.
Yeah.
Really?
I placed an implant on a patient that was 92. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I would say that people, people are living longer and longer.
Yes.
People are much more vigorous and much more active as they're older now than they used to be, let's say even 15, 20 years ago. And they should rightfully have the teeth and smile and chewing ability that they want. So I don't think there's ever an age limit. There's also always a medical part of things. We want to make sure that people are healthy enough to receive treatment. But that's really it.
All right. Guys, we have a caller on the line. It looks like her name is Paula. She's in Vancouver. And Dwayne, can we put Paula on the show to talk to our doctors this morning? Hello, Paula. Good morning. Paula.
Hello?
Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
You had a question for our doctors?
Yes, I did. One was, I was under the impression to get an implant that you needed to have an x-ray of the inside of your mouth, that they put you in a special room and they put electrodes around you and take this scan, and then it's sent to Germany.
Okay.
And it takes a while for it to come back before you can actually get an implant.
Okay, so I would venture to say that I don't know kind of where you've received that information, but we take x-rays in my offices right now. We have a cone beam CT scan machine in the Coquitlam office, and the new one we're putting in the Vancouver office is the one that's the lowest radiation in the world, actually. And it takes 4.8 seconds to get that scan. And when I get that scan, it's instantaneously onto my digital screen, and I can show you where the implant's going to go and how it's going to get there in front of your eyes in about 5 minutes. So
Really?
I would tell you that the information and the CT scan and the x-rays are done in our office. It's digital. It's instantaneous.
Okay.
And you will get that the same day as you get your complimentary consultation. And I would tell you that your CT scan is also complimentary.
Okay.
I might add one thing there, Paula, is that I've been doing this stuff for pretty close to 30 years right now. I've never had to send a case to Germany before I place it.
Wow. Okay. And something like this, what would the cost be to do an implant? Just a rough basis.
I would say that depending on where you go, the range I would say a cost for replacement of an implant would range anywhere from about 2,500 and up, and then the crown portion can be anywhere from, I would say, about $1,500 to $2,500. So I think that's kind of a range. The reason being is because everyone is a little bit different, and every office is going to be a little bit different, and every case can be a little bit different as well. And if there's grafting involved or an extraction involved, things can change as well.
Yeah, and Paula, what happens is when you lose a tooth, you often lose bone structure and gum tissue quality as well. So depending on the desire for replication of what is ideal, the other procedures can be done to make it look absolutely natural.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I've got your website, so I'll look you people up.
Perfect.
Super,
Good,
Paula.
thank you so much. I'm enjoying your show.
Well, thank you so much for saying that, Paul, and have a happy Easter.
Yes, and you too. Happy Easter.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Take
And
care, Paula.
it's always nice to see the Easter Bunny, but after you have that chocolate, make sure you brush your teeth, right?
Absolutely. But I love Easter. Chocolate's good.
Yeah, I love chocolate. The darker, the better.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we'll talk about chocolate after the show. 604-280-0650 is our local number, 604-280-0650. And if you live out of the local dialing area, our toll-free telephone number is 1-877-280-0650. I do a show on Saturday night called the Retro Rock Request Show. So it's sort of like the old days when you would be home, when you were a teenager, Doctor. You'd be home, and on Saturday night, you'd call the disc jockey to get him to play one of your favorite songs and maybe send that out to that special girl.
Cool.
So tonight, I want you guys to call in, and you can call in for a shameless free plug.
Ooh.
Thank you.
I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Okay? So if you hear me talking like this, you'll know why. Our guests this morning on air live are Dr. Bobby Birdie and Dr. Ron Zokol. We're talking about lifestyle. We're talking about giving you that permanent smile. The lady just called in a second ago. She had a question about investment. Does dental plans or do dental plans cover any of this?
Usually some.
Some? Good.
Yeah, and most dental plans will cover the tooth on it, on an implant. For example, if you need a 3-unit bridge or you put a single implant in without cutting down those other teeth, then they'll often give you credit for sometimes the equivalent of the 3-unit bridge or just the crown on the implant itself. But the actual surgical procedures placing an implant are sometimes covered, but often not, and most often not.
And an implant that's when you take the tooth out or it's missing. And do you screw some sort of post into the bone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It ends up being, but all we're doing with an implant is replacing the root of your tooth. And so that's the part that fuses to the bone and becomes like the foundation of your house or foundation of that new tooth structure. So that part goes in and fuses to the bone, and then we put something on top of it that looks like a tooth, and you chew with it, you eat with it, you floss with it. It's great. And it's a good setup. But honestly, people ask, well, how long do they last and what are the benefits? Well, they keep your bone around. You never have to get a root canal on an implant. Never can get a cavity on an implant.
That's good.
And you just got to keep it clean. And a lot of times, if you keep them safe and sound and well restored and well maintained, they'll outlast you.
If somebody has, say, bone disease in their mouth and they've lost some bone structure, is there anything that you fellas can do to bring it back up?
Very much so.
Yeah?
Very much so. It's one of the skill sets that we have, and that is to rehabilitate the bone structure and the quality of the gum tissue to make the implant not only look better, but to last longer.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, again, we talk about dentures. We talk about, what was that other thing? Caps on your teeth? I guess the days of putting caps in teeth are gone, are they?
No, this is
still around.
A cap is a crown. It's just a different
crown.
word. Yep, just a different word for it. That's all.
Because I got one right here I've had for a long time. Maybe we should talk after the show.
Sure.
Hey, let's say you have a radio announcer come down to see you, and you fix him or her up, he or she.
We even give you a free consultation.
But my question was, could you go to work after that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So you could go home and just carry on with your life.
It's great. Actually, it's amazing. Some of the people that come in either are people they play instruments, whether they trombone or some of these people that are and really high up in the orchestra and everything. And to them, having their front teeth, even though they might be lost, is such an importance of where they are and how they look and everything. And we deal with that every day. It's something we do a lot of.
Now, our producer, Dwayne, in the other studio is a musician as well as being a big-time radio producer. And you see this guy? Have a look. He's smiling quite a lot. And he doesn't blow. He plays bass guitar, but he's like right into it. So you get people from all different walks of life coming in to see you?
Oh, sure. Opera singers.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us some stories. Tell us about some of the people you go. Who comes to see you? What do they do? What are they like?
Just about every walk of life. I'll tell you one. You talk about changing people's lives. This is a lady from the interior of British Columbia came in, and she'd been wearing dentures for 30 years. Her family bought her a set of dentures, had all her teeth removed when she was 15. And 30 years later, now she's lost so much bone structure, she can't even hold the teeth in her mouth. Prominent lady in the interior of British Columbia. She came in after treatment, after having the implants and the teeth put in, and she came out of the operatory, and she started to cry shortly after right after when she looked in the mirror, and there were tears in her eyes, and she was tears of happiness because she'd never had solid teeth for that many, as long as she could remember almost. And 1 year later, she came back into the office for a checkup. I only found out that she was married then. It turns out she married a young man 20 years her junior.
Good for her. Good for her.
Now, there's a
a term
reversal
for that.
of trends.
That's good for her. Good for her. That's great.
Can you say cougar?
And happy.
And a happy cougar at that. Now, what about you, Bobby?
You know, there's one story I can tell you about. We had a patient that came in, and he's a car mechanic, but he's been fixing like these old large rigs and everything for a long time. And he heard about me on the radio. Comes in, and he said, "You know what? I'm 60 years old. I've spent my entire life looking after my kids. I've got them all married off. They've all got great educations, got college educations. They're doing really well for themselves. But my teeth. I've been wearing dentures now for about 30 years, and you look inside his mouth and everything. He's got tremendous amounts of bone loss, lots of bone loss everywhere, lots of problems. And he just said, "Well, can you treat me?" And I said, "Yeah, we can treat you. How about if we did it in one day?" And he came in, and we did both of his upper and lower teeth in one day. And he walked out, and kind of similar to Ron, he was very teary-eyed. It's amazing because he's a really big guy, about 6'3", 300 pounds, big guy. He could kill you if he wanted to. It's just really big hands. And I remember when he got up and tear rolled down his eyes, and he gave me the biggest hug, picked me up, and he just was so happy because he's just like, I can't believe that I'm going to be able to go home and kiss my wife and not have to worry about my dentures moving and something not having problems with it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And you're a pretty big guy yourself.
I am, and trust me. There aren't too many people I'm afraid of that are big like that, but he's one of those guys. Yeah,
Holy
absolutely.
Geez. So you guys have come a long, long way in your practice. Well, you're just a baby at this.
Well,
compared to Dr. Zokol.
Well, compared to Dr. Zokol, I think a lot of people are
a
babies.
lot of people are babies.
With all due respect, I say.
This man here has the educational background that puts him light years in front of the majority of other dentists who have studied this field.
Where have you studied? What have you studied?
Well, I originally from Edmonton, Alberta, but I went to Saskatchewan, great place, 4 years, Saskatoon for dental school, and then went down to Minnesota for 6 years, 2 3-year residencies, and then got board certifications in the U.S. and Canada in both specialties, which I'm the only one to ever have done that. So it's amazing to be in that position, but also to continue to provide the best care I possibly can and really go about it in a very technologically advanced way.
Okay, well, we're going to get a little commercial break out of the way. Then we're going to chat some more with our very special guests, Dr. Bobby Birdie and Dr. Ron Zokol. You're listening to Boomer Life live on AM 650 Radio.
It's all about the baby boomer lifestyle. Boomer Life on AM 650.